Hello guys, we're back with our next lecture. In this lecture, let us go through the concept of a process resilience, guys. Okay, so first before going into resilience and all those things, so first let us go through some basic definitions, guys. Because resilience is completely dependent on fault and the concept of failure, guys. So that is the reason why first let us go through these two definitions. After that, we will be going through resilience. Okay, yes. So basically, what is a fault, guys? Okay, so it is an incorrect state, okay, in your system. So basically a fault could be some kind of a database slowdown, memory leaks, blocked threads and bad data. So basically something bad could happen with this fault, so that we will be calling it as fault, guys. Okay, I hope everyone got some basic idea. Okay, so let us continue. So the next is nothing but a failure. So the inability of the system to do its intended job is nothing but failure, guys. So basically assume that you gave a job to your friend or to someone to do a particular job. So assume that you gave him to copy data from this pen drive to that pen drive and he forgot to do it. So indirectly that is a failure because he did not do the job, right? Yes. Similarly, so now let us go through fault and failures. Okay? Yes. So resilience. So resilience, in simple words, you can say it is preventing a fault to become failure. That's it. So it is about preventing fault turning into failure. So basically faults only slowly convert into failure, guys. Okay. Yes. So I hope everyone now got a clear idea about resilience. Okay. Okay, so now let us go through how some kind of process or mechanism can solve these issues, right? Yes. So process can be made fault tolerance by arranging to have a group of processes with each member of the group being identical. Okay, so assume that you want some data, guys. Okay, and you're having multiple servers near you, and you want that data is that much important that you don't want to lose it at any moment of time, like you want to store it carefully in that way. Okay, so assume that, so the thing that you can do is you can store the data multiple copies in your all servers, right? Yes. So that could be a method, right? Yes. So that could reduce the fault tolerance, because even if this server is down, the others will help. Even this all servers is down, any one server is active, you can get the data. So that is the major advantage of replication and all those concepts, guys. Okay, yes. So basically you might be having it, okay, so if I want data, so to which server should I go? Should I go and check in all servers, or should I select a particular server and only take from that? So a simple way is that you send a request for all the servers, and whoever is first you will be taking from them. That's it. So a message is sent to the group, is delivered to all the copies of the processes, the group members, that is nothing but, and then only one of them perform the required service. So basically they are deciding among themselves, and one of them will be doing your task, guys. Okay, it might be copying data or any kind of task. Okay. Okay, so if any one process fails, it is assumed that another process will still be able to do the functionality, because here we are having the same data in all of them, right? Hence there will not be any issue, guys. Okay, yes. So in grouping also there are two popular grouping mechanisms, guys. The first one is a flat and the second one is hierarchical. So from the diagrams you can say clearly here flat means there are all possible combinations, okay, or there could be minimum also, there is no issue. Okay, yes. So the major difference in flat group and hierarchical group is that in flat group there is no coordinator or there is no leader, guys. Everyone is equal. Whereas in hierarchy there will be a leader and he will be controlling everyone. So that is the only major difference which changes everything, guys. Okay, yes. So I hope everyone got clear idea on the diagram also. Yes. So all the processes are equal, decisions are made collectively. So basically everyone will combine and they'll be thinking, okay, if you do the work, I'll be taking rest. So in that way they'll be deciding among themselves and they'll be doing the work. Whereas in hierarchical, one of the processes is elected to be the coordinator, which selects another process. That is nothing but the other processes are called as workers, guys. Okay, to perform the operation. Okay. Okay, so let us go again through flat group. So no single point of failure. However, decision making is complicated as concerns are required. So basically assume that this system has been faulted. Okay, so basically all the connections with those will not work as this node is not there now. So rest of the nodes can deliver data and everything is possible, right? So hence there is no single point failure. Okay. Similarly, when it comes to hierarchy, you are having a boss, right? Yes. So there is a chance. I'm saying that will not be. There is a chance, right? Yes. So single point of a failure is possible. However, these are really easy, guys, and quick decisions can be made by the coordinator without any requirement, any discussions with the workers. So here, why I'm saying single point. If this coordinator fails, guys, what will be the situation, guys? They don't have the capacity to decide among themselves, so they will just halt. So that is the reason why the hierarchical is a single point failure. There's a chance of single point failure, guys. Okay. Yes. So I hope everyone got some basic idea on this. So in the next lecture, we'll be discussing about Byzantine agreement problem, guys. Okay. So let us meet in the next lecture. Thank you. Thanks for watching.